Welcome to Three Lame Guys. I'm Mr. Cack. That's TJ. We are two of Three Lame Guys, and we are here to watch the Superman teaser trailer. Already, I like that it's brighter than any other DC movie in the last decade.
Yeah.
Though our Superman looking like a Yamcha meme, which is Dragon Ball Z, in case you didn't know that, TJ, isn't a good look. This has been memed so hard, that little image right there.
That image, that look, okay.
Yeah. I like his nerdy Clark Kent.
Yeah, the hair, though, that's what throws me off about it.
I just don't like seeing Superman already just utterly destroyed.
I like the guitar riff of the classic.
Yeah. So there's gonna be another shot of inside the Daily Planet, and it confuses me. Man, Papa Kent is he's feeling his life right now. He's not Kevin Costner anymore.
Which is the way I think it should be, though.
I agree.
Oh, is this? I love this part.
Crypto?
Yes, Crypto. Spoiler.
Crypto.
We may have already seen this.
I mean, everyone's already seen it.
Yeah.
Everyone. Ooh! That looks good.
I don't know, like, Lex is a hard character to play.
Yeah.
The image of him, I like in this.
I hate the person. Yeah, I hate that bowl cut, man.
Green Lantern, hot girl.
I like that they're kissing and there's clearly something happening in the background.
I almost named my dog Crypto. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, see, there's like some kind of cosmic entity outside, I think. It could just be like a Las Vegas light show. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say something, and you can disagree, because this has been kind of the complaints, or I guess the discourse currently on the internet.
Okay.
It's been a long while that I've came out of a Superman trailer and felt upbeat. That's like Christopher Reeve's Superman trailer. Like not that he will be as good as Christopher Reeves, not that the movie will be good, but like a trailer. Like, this feels optimistic.
Yeah.
And we've been so trained to have such a dystopian, like, hard, gritty look at Superman here recently. Whether it was Snyder or before Snyder, there was just kind of, people wanted to take this golden age icon and just, like, get real gritty with it. Like, how does humanity deal with having a god among them? But, like, his roots are, dude just loves life and wants to help, man. But TJ, what did you think watching this trailer for the first time?
For the first time, yes. For the first time. Well, for the first time, I can actually talk about it. First off, Crypto. Love that they have Crypto.
Yes.
We have a version of a Green Lantern. I think it's Guy Gardner. We have Hawk Girl. We have Mr. Terrific. It's not just a Superman movie with two characters, Superman and, someone else, Lex Luthor, or almost said Lex Luger.
With the torture rack.
It feels like they're trying with this to build a DC universe, which is really what they're doing. But, like you said, the colors automatically pop out, as opposed to that dark, gritty, Man of Steel-esque Snyder. I mean, nothing wrong with the Snyderverse. I liked the Snyderverse. No. But I mean, it gets me. I'm thinking this is what people were wanting when Superman Returns came out. Because like when Superman Returns came out, they're like, all right, this is going to be a another Superman movie. Yes, it's kind of the Christopher Reeve esque, you know,
Yeah.
Superman, but with Brandon Routh playing Superman, and he didn't punch anybody, he didn't really fight anybody, and it's kind of like, well, then what was the point of it? There was a lot of
Yeah.
letdown with that movie. I think this is going to correct a lot of that letdown. And I mean, like I said, Lex Luthor is a hard character to play, given
Yeah.
that we've had so many good Lex Luthors, and by so many, I mean the one from Smallville. I mean, let's face it, probably the best Lex Luthor out there.
Yeah.
But I'm anxious to see I want to hear him talk, if that makes sense. Because in my mind, yeah, because
Nicholas Hoult or
Nicholas
whatever.
Hoult, yeah. So like in my mind, like Lex Luthor, oh shit, what's his name? Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the guy that played
From-
Lex in
Yeah,
Smallville.
in Smallville, like very eloquent with his speaking. You look at the Justice League, cartoon, very eloquent with his speaking. It's just something like that. But then you look at, Batman v Superman Lex Luthor, and you're like, it's a spoiled rich kid.
Yeah. Now I will say this: I read online one time. I read online here recently. Someone posited the theory Lex Luthor has always represented kind of like the of the times kind of villainy. Like he's been like tech guy, businessman, like kind of with the era who it is. And so some would argue that Jesse Eisenberg being kind of a tech douche was pretty fitting for the time, if not slightly ahead of the time, because I feel like tech douche probably fits. But also, I think you could be more timeless with it. I agree. I think Lex needs to have he needs to be a relatable. You need to be able to slightly understand while still despising him as a human to make that character work, right?
So I think like with the Batman v Superman version, I think it was the Justice League movie, like the theatrical version, the one that was not good. At the end, whenever they kind of teased like the Injustice League with Lex Luthor on the yacht with Deathstroke coming on.
Yeah.
I think that was the version of Lex Luthor we wanted and we should have gotten in Batman v Superman, but that was not the version that we got. Like, I didn't see him become Lex Luthor the way I imagined Lex Luthor should be until after he was put in Arkham and his head was shaved.
Yeah. Now, on that same note, I will say that part of that is Snyder was trying to world build, setting up future movies.
Yeah.
James Gunn is doing the same thing, so there's got to be an air of caution, right? Like you had mentioned earlier that there's going to be a lot of characters that are working into this. I think we will still get plenty of Superman. I think the other characters are just there to kind of let us know that this world has had super people and that there's a team that's been working, not the Justice League yet, but maybe like the whatever the precursor to the Justice League was. I think some people are concerned that there might be too much going on in a Superman movie. To that I would say, with James Gunn at the helm, I give more of a benefit of the doubt than I would someone else.
Yeah.
Because I've seen James Gunn kind of play the field with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. And I mean, so my thought on that is, you want it to be a world building. You want it to be mainly focused on Superman, which I think is going to be like mainly focused on Superman. You want it to have like, them to know, oh, all this other stuff's happening, and all these other people are there. But at the same time, DC is hedging a lot on this movie. If this movie flops, and I mean, let's face it. Let's just call it right now. Rotten Tomatoes critics it's probably going to be like a 30 or 40%. What do you think?
I think it will, because I think they're going to, well, the critics, I don't know. I think it's going to get review bombed.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's already happening. I think I've already seen kind of the counter clash to this, because there's still some hurt feelings over people that feel like the Snyderverse was was done dirty. I don't know. I think it will be fascinating. I think we're also at a point now where our society like gets motivated by the critics hating.
Yeah, well, you know, you have
Something.
the two. You have the two. You have the critic score and the audience score. And the audience
Yes,
score
drastically
is more,
different at times.
Yes, and the audience score is more relevant to what the actual people who are paying the money to go see the movie are actually, you
Yeah.
know, feel about the movie. But the critic score, which is what everyone's like, oh, it only had 30 some odd percent on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, but 90% on you know, audience score or whatever. But
Yeah.
you know, that critic score is usually what kills movies, because some people take that and take it to heart, and they shouldn't. Plain and simple.
They should not have. I agree. I think the critics will be low on it because I think critics have gotten. I think the current swing is that it's easier to be a critic and bash because one. Now I don't know if this is true, but hear me out. I think it garners more attention. I think they're hoping to bait more attention to their articles or their feedback by hating a comic book film.
Yeah.
Because they do it all the time now.
Yeah.
And I think if you were going to go in with the critical lens of this isn't going to be some Scorsese or some independent driven cinematography beautiful movie, like this is a comic book adaptation. Like it's designed for box office appeal, like blockbuster appeal, but at the end of the day, these are all characters created for kids.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be. This isn't Hamlet. It's not going to be Macbeth. This isn't going to be Shakespearean in dialogue or work. But some critics come in with like, well, this isn't Moonlight, so it's god awful because they're gonna hate it because it's not going to challenge some of the things that they want. They
Yeah.
want the inner working of the psychology. They want and yet still hated aspects of the Snyderverse. But I feel like that's what people think they want from these.
Yeah.
You really got to turn it on its head and psychoanalyze it. I just want to have fun. I just want to go into a movie and be like, I get that, but also this is cool. Like this is just fun to watch.
Well, I mean, it's a superhero movie too. You know, it's the comics that, you know, we grew up reading, and you know, you want to go into it just being in awe, just be like, oh my god, that is awesome. You don't want to sit there and analyze. You know, it's like, oh, it's got to have a very important story and have a, you know, message to it and everything. I think, you know, the message to this is have hope. You know, look
Yeah.
up. I think the trailer, like the poster was like, look up, and it's like, oh, okay, look up. So
I think as a society, we currently need hope.
exactly.
And so if our escapism attractions allow us to have momentary hope-filled joy, like cool. I hate the bowl cut for Nathan Fillion is rocking right now. I get it. It's in the comics.
It's character. I mean,
I get it.
specific. Like it's character design specific,
I
which
get
is
it.
what I love about it.
I like the hot girl design. I like the blues, white, and gold. Like I've always feel like I see her color palette from like the cartoon universe more as like brown, orange, or like a yellowish brown, orange, black.
Yeah.
But I like that color choice because it's different. You don't see a lot of that. And there's a couple of other characters. I am very curious to see how they handle Mr. Terrific because I've only seen the version of Mr. Terrific from the Flash universe.
Yeah, the
Or the
Arrowverse.
Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am very curious. Who's he fighting?
So rumor is that is a clone of Superman that was created by.
Oh, so maybe Bizarro. Maybe this universe is Bizarro.
Yeah, like could be like a proto, like early version of Bizarro, like someone that transforms into Bizarro or something. I don't know.
But I like Mr. Terrific having his little terrific balls, his little T-balls, and providing his power. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they showcase of these other characters
So
who are more like set dressing. I
Yeah.
also think that Nathan Fillion's gonna die at some point to set the stage for who comes after Guy Gardner? Jon Stewart?
no, I don't think it's Jon Stewart. I think it's the one that Ryan Reynolds played, who was Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna eventually happen. Also, I'm kind of confused as to what Suda like. and I think this is not a bad thing, but there are times where you like see like the Daily Planet and you see some of the characters like just wandering around, and it's very confusing as to what era are we in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you clearly have
It
like, the
feels
flat
it feels
screen and
modern.
everything.
Yeah, it feels modern, and then at times it feels less modern, which I think is just intentionally done to create this. It's a comic book universe. Don't try to think too deep into it.
Yeah, it's a world where newspapers still exist. I think. Okay, so like
with flat screen, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
with the internet.
but like, so I don't know if you've watched any of the like the Superman and Lois TV show.
I haven't, but I heard it's really good.
So it's pretty good. But like one of the things they were doing with like Daily Planet, it was no longer just like a newspaper, but you actually had like a news station kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think that's probably what we're going to see like with the Daily Planet. It's not only going to be like a newspaper, but you're also just going to be like a CNN type news station as well. So I'm hoping, like that Luthor Corp.
Yeah, and you can't really tell, but there's someone walking on top of it. Apparently, that is a character who may be playing a villainess that could have a big impact. A nano-infused character who could cause all sorts of issues. Bum bum bum.
So there was a character that was showing in the trailer that just kind of showed his face.
Metamorpho.
Metamorpho. So I mean, they're bringing in like a lot of these classic Justice League cartoon type characters, which I'm liking. But
Yeah.
it's like ultimately, it's like how does it all play into the story, and is there going to be like a complete story here, as opposed to something
It's just
like
setting up for a sequel. Clearly.
yeah, like is it going to be something that's well, like I mean, Man of Steel, I guess you could say they had almost a complete story, but
Yeah.
it was literally just like I'm, Clark Kent, and I'm running from, my destiny, and then finds the
Yeah.
ship, and suddenly gets his suit and decides to fly, and then it's like, oh, by the way, I'm Superman, and then all the stuff starts happening. Like there's got to be like a story, like a reason, and all this stuff. I think is what ultimately is going to set this apart from any of the
Yeah.
other.
And I think if James Gunn's previous works or anything, all of his Guardians of the Galaxy, even though they had the obligatory Marvel post or mid-credit kind of setup for the future,
Mhm.
they all ended as a movie in itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, none of them lingered on. I think it would be very out of character for James to leave this as something that feels like a running sentence of like, you saw this, but you have to see how it continues in blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I think this will feel very self-contained while also creating a universe that is still moving around these characters. So that way, when the next movie comes up, you understand that there's a connection, but maybe not directly connected. I hope James has learned from his time in Marvel, maybe some of the pitfalls that Marvel has fallen into, or repetitive nature that Marvel has fallen into, because some of their, it's all connected and one story ends and another story begins. Well, then you have a bunch of movies that don't feel like they ever really had a story. Like the stakes always feel weird.
Yeah. I think also too, like with Marvel's saturated the comic book landscape as far as movies go. But I think with DC, I think people are going to go to this because it is something different. It's a different studio, a different character, different story that's starting out. I mean,
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to help. As long as this movie does good, we'll see more movies eventually down the road. The only thing I hate is it takes so damn long for these movies to come out. It's like, I want them all right now.
But I'm excited. Let's do thumbs up, thumbs down on 3, TJ, for this trailer. 3, 2, 1, where's your thumb going? Thumb up.
Thumb is up. Thumb is up.
Yeah. I'm excited. I don't care what anyone says. I'm excited to give this a chance, and hopefully it works out, because I'm excited to see what could happen with this new universe.
I'm excited for the possibility that Warner Brothers will give James Gunn the creative control over DC to be able to do what they need to do with their movies.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Like I said, the possibility.
Yeah. Let us know what the possibilities are for you in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let us know how you feel about the Superman teaser trailer, or just trailer, because that's what it really is. What are you looking forward to? Which character are you most excited about? Or are you fearful of what this could be? And if your comment is, why are we doing another Superman movie? Because he's a timeless property. Like, that's why. He's a cash cow IP if you do it right.
And it's been over 10 years since the last one.
Which makes me feel old as crap.
Yeah.
I've been Mr. Cack. That's been TJ. We have been 2 of 3 lame guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye!